Okay, so you saw my unboxing video. If not, go back and check that out. And now we're going to do a more thorough review. First of all, we're going to show the one-handed opening again. It actually boots up as you open it. It's called flip to boot. And that's it. Fingerprint. Boom. Okay, a quick rundown on the specs. Again, this is the Lenovo Ideapad 5 14-inch laptop. The CPU is the Ryzen 7 4700U, 8-core, 8-thread. The GPU is integrated AMD Vega 7 graphics, 16 gigabytes of RAM. The SSD is 512 gigabytes. The display is a 14-inch 1080p IPS display. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the design. It's a really nice looking laptop, I think. The color is great, very lightweight, very thin. The chassis is metal, so it's a sturdy machine. We'll get into the keyboard as well. Just the one thing about the build quality that's a bit of a letdown is the trackpad. While overall it's good, it's smooth, it's precise, it works well, it does have a little bit of an issue, which I'll get to shortly, so stay tuned to see what's going on with that. So let's talk about the display. Overall, I think it's a good display. It's not the best display, but for the cost of the machine, I think it's pretty good. It's an IPS display, so good viewing angles, a lot better than the cheap TN displays. It's a full HD 1080p. Most importantly, it's a matte display. My last couple of laptops were both glossy displays and I couldn't stand them. I am never going back to glossy screens. Very little reflection and glare. There's a little bit, but it's usually quite diffuse. It just makes viewing it so much better than a glossy display. Now, as far as the color goes, I think the colors look good. It's not the most color accurate display. I think it's somewhere in the range of 65% sRGB. So again, for pro video editing or photo editing, it's not going to cut it, but for just some general use, no problem. At home, you can hook it up to a external display or use another computer if you're doing serious editing work. But for just general use, light video editing on the go, not a problem in my book. Okay, I'll bring the camera over so you can see the keyboard layout. Check the
sticker placement.
Yeah, not bad. Okay, let's talk about the keyboard right now. So the keyboard I really like. It's really a good keyboard. I'm quite happy with it. It's also backlit. You access that by function spacebar. The backlighting is really even. I think it's perfect. I've seen some reviews of some Asus and maybe Acer, other laptops where the backlighting is kind of uneven under some keys and whatnot. This one is perfectly even all the way across. The backlighting is perfect. There's very little keyboard flex. If I push hard with all my fingers, I can flex it a little bit, but no problem. Okay, so now let's get to the trackpad. So I alluded to a bit of an issue with the trackpad earlier in the video. And again, overall it's a good trackpad. It's a good size. You can see the size of it. I mean, it's not MacBook Pro size, but for a Windows machine, it is a decent size trackpad. And it's very smooth, responsive, all the Windows 10 gestures and whatnot. I really like it, except for one thing, which really unfortunately takes away from the build quality, is a little bit of looseness or rattliness in the trackpad. So if I tap lightly, there's nothing here. But as I go over here, it's a little bit loose. Okay, the webcam is a 720p webcam. It's okay. You know, it does the job good enough for Skype or some Zoom or something like that. I do like that it has, and I'll zoom in here so you can see the privacy shutter. Let's talk about speakers and audio. The speakers are okay. They're average in my opinion. Quite a number of the reviews seem to say that they think they're really good or quite good. I disagree with that. They're not horrible, but they're far from MacBook or MacBook Pro speakers. I'd say this audio is just average. It doesn't get very loud. I wish it would actually get a bit louder. But if you're nearby in a relatively quiet room, it's fine for watching YouTube or Netflix and stuff like that. I'll play a little audio sample of some copyright free off of YouTube. So the speakers are top firing, which I think is good, rather than bottom firing and getting muffled underneath. I did make some adjustments to the audio interface to get the best sound that I could get out of it. So I did make some tweaks to the audio. Stay tuned for a video just going through how I optimize the audio for this laptop. Okay, fan noise. Fan noise is not an issue. It's really quiet in my opinion. Even when the fan is on, it's a kind of a low-pitched sound, so it's not annoying like some of the laptops that have that kind of high-pitched sound. Even when it's plugged in and just idle, the fan is sometimes completely off. I know just Josh's review, he mentioned that even plugged in, there's always the fan going. I can confirm the fan is a lot of the time completely off, completely silent, even when plugged in. On battery, it's definitely usually off. If the laptop is plugged in and charging, the fan will come on, not even bothersome at all. Temperature of the chassis, not an issue. Surface temperatures below on the keyboard deck, on the palm rest. I have no problem with that. Even when I'm running more intensive stuff on it, not an issue. As for travel, I wanted something lightweight. This is about 3 pounds. Slim, it's a 14-inch screen packed down into the size of a 13-inch laptop. Cost-wise as well, I didn't want to spend too much money on a laptop that I was going to be traveling around with. Maybe I'll have to leave it in a hotel once in a while, worry about it getting stolen, damaged. It's powerful enough for everything I want to do with it, including some light video editing, 1080p, no problem. A variety of popular and up-and-coming travel YouTubers seem to primarily film and upload in 1080p rather than 4K. I'd imagine this is due to storage considerations, as well as internet availability, primarily upload speed, that one can find while traveling around the world. If you want 4K, then you definitely need more of a high-end laptop, or edit videos at home on a different machine. A lot of people travel with MacBooks. Now, while MacBooks are great, they're definitely on the pricier side. If you want to stay on a little bit more of a budget and you're okay with Windows machines or you already use a Windows machine, then this could be a good option. Okay, let's check out the ports. I think it almost has a perfect selection of ports, including a full-size SD card reader, which is great for travelers, whether they have action cameras with micro SD or other cameras that use a full-size SD card. It's nice to have that option. Let's get a closer look. Okay, full-size SD card and a couple of USB 3 ports, type A, 3.1 ports, I guess. On the other side here, we've got the USB-C, which is used for charging, and it also does display out and data, of course. We've got an HDMI, headphone jack. Gotta have my 3.5 headphone jack, no question about that. I think it's a great selection of ports. I think the battery life is pretty decent. Just kind of normal usage, a little bit of YouTube, some Netflix, some documents, some web surfing and stuff like that. I get about 5.5, 6 hours out of it. If you go really light, like just productivity, office software, sure you can get probably 7, 8, 9. And obviously if you're doing heavier usage, you'll get less. I do like the USB-C charging, especially for traveling. If something were to happen to your charger, it's easy to get a USB-C charger, whereas getting a proprietary barrel charger, depending where you are, could be difficult. Now, there's not a lot of bloatware on this machine, but the McAfee antivirus software is one of them, and we're definitely going to get rid of that. I mean, you could call the Lenovo Vantage software bloatware, but it's actually quite useful. Okay, so let's remove that. Okay, add or remove programs. Where's McAfee? McAfee, LiveSafe, uninstall. So in summary, basically, I think this is a great laptop for travelers, bloggers, YouTubers, anybody who just wants to have a powerful, small, light laptop that they can do basic video editing, like up to 1080p, without breaking the bank in case it gets damaged or whatnot. It's a combination of a good price, lightweight, pretty good build quality, except for the trackpad. And I'm going to do a series of follow-up videos talking about some tips, some tweaks. So yeah, subscribe so you can see some of those specific details.